I was so frustrated listening to the same people who told me that if it were Elizabeth Warren, they would have voted for her, then not vote for her.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a dark week for women. We talked a little bit about the Supreme Court earlier, but I want to ask you more about it because I'm feeling lost.
Yeah.
Tony Barrett is seated. We did not have the same, it's a pandemic, but we did not have the same level of at least vocal in the streets outrage that we had around Kavanaugh. Are you worried that women are feeling hopeless? And do you think that court reform is a way that we could actually rectify some of this situation?
I think a lot of women are feeling discouraged. This appointment to the court is as clear a signal that there's going to be a concerted effort to turn the clock back on women, on the LGBTQ community, on rights in general, a big shift toward corporate power, toward those who are on the right of the political ledger when it comes to guns and climate and everything else we can imagine. So I do think that there is a sense of that, but I also think that for a lot of people, that's being channeled into this election. 61 million people have already voted. That's astonishing. And the women I talk to and the shows that I'm doing and the events that I'm part of, there is a determination. So yeah, it's a feeling that, this was not good and it's going to have consequences, but we're not giving up. We're going to forge ahead. And I agree with Biden creating a commission to look at this, which I think was exactly the right position to take in the middle of a campaign. You can't stop and look at, do we want term limits? Do we want to add numbers? What about the circuit courts? I mean, there's really complicated issues. But I thought it was quite telling last night on the floor as the Democrats were trying to stop the inevitable, but they filibustered, they talked all night long. Angus King, an independent from Maine, who is viewed as, a very center of the road kind of guy, gets along with everybody, basically stood up and said, what do you expect us to do? If you're going to treat the courts like this, having denied Merrick Garland, having packed the circuit courts with unqualified Federalist Society ideologues, most of whom have never tried a case, are robots for the right-wing agenda, what do you expect us to do? There are consequences. So I thought that was as strong a signal from somebody who's not, considered on the left or the far left, but is a real, useful and productive member of the Senate, but an independent, to come out and send that message. So let's see what happens. But, I've told the Obama campaign, I've told the Biden campaign and the Biden transition that they're going to have to move really fast, because let's assume we take back the Senate. It matters whether we take it back and we have 50 votes or 51 votes or more. And we're going to have to move really quickly. Now, thankfully, Nancy Pelosi, bless her heart, in every way we can, has teed up a lot of great legislation. It's been sitting there dying in, Mitch McConnell's office, but she has legislated on everything we care about, even bipartisan legislation. So I would hope that if we get that Democratic Senate, and I would urge everybody listening to your program, please, please, please vote for Democrats if we want to get something done again in our country, and overcome the really inexcusable resistance to progress we've seen from the Republicans. Then I think we're going to have to move quickly. And one of the areas we'll have to move quickly on is the courts. We're going to have to move quickly on everything: election reform, climate change, COVID relief, expanding health care, everything that we care about.